And here we go. All right. So when we left off last time, you guys were heading into the evening. You had just conducted a day's worth of activities, and you had gotten all back together again, shared your information, and were making plans on what you were wanting to do for the evening or the next day. And so, as you rummage through your notes, you uh, share information with each other. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of role play, in character planning time here for you to figure out what you wish to do here at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, February the 11th. In the great city of London, England.
Well, I think some of us were going to the nightclub, the Blue Pyramid Club in Soho.
Yes. That was discussed.
Irene didn't want us to come with her to break into the safe. For some reason, Irene doesn't trust us.
That way she can poison people without witnesses.
So are we all going to the nightclub? I'm going clubbing.
Gonna hit the clubs of London.
You can stay here, Irene, and do some research.
Irene's not really the biggest of researchers. Not that she can't try, but they traditionally relied on one of their American friends to do most of the researching.
Wanna go clubbing? It's kind of hard to do research this time of night. Too many 24-hour libraries open.
Yeah, plus you've had a pretty full day of activity. The brain is getting kind of a little foggy. Sitting in a library reading through books, you just might doze off and bang your forehead on the desk.
Yeah, but we're in London town. Prohibition to a club. Bunch of blue-nosed Puritans. Here. Yeah, serial murders.
Then, of course, there is that matter of some sort of a serial killer that's been conducting some killings here in
None of us is Egyptian.
the London area. That is a matter that you could research a bit if you wanted to.
I think the odds are in our favor.
Speaking of which, while we're at it, let's just make sure that our quest list is updated. All right, Brice is connecting now. So everyone should be able to click on quests on your sidebar. And all the ones with F's on them means that they've been finished. And then we have several that are not finished. You can filter some of those out by going up to the drop-down bar up the top and just selecting... Okay, that doesn't filter them out, I guess. On my copy, I can filter them by... Oh, that's because I haven't shared any of the others with you. Ha! That was why. So, you guys can only see what you can see. I have the quests sorted by the different countries that you might be in. Because
Here, Kansas.
Some pertain to certain areas, more so than others. I would think that you'd still be able to organize those. Because some of them were for New York and then some of them are for London. But anyway, as of right now, you have investigating David Jordan. You have investigating Thomas Jacobs. You have investigating Zahra Shafiq. You have generic library research. You have the Pinhue Foundation. You have research Nachanka Bane. You have Stumbling Tiger Bar. You have the Blue Pyramid Club. You have Visiting Mickey Mahoney. And you have Warren Bassart. Yes, Stumbling Tiger was in China. And you only know about it because of that matchbook that you found, although you really don't know what that might be about. Which is why I am curious as to why your quests are not sorting by country. In the GM screen here, I have them divided out by the regions that they pertain to. So, just going straight to London, we have David Jordan, Thomas Jacobs, Zahra Shafiq, Pinhue Foundation, Pyramid Club, and Mickey Mahoney.
Yeah, a lot of these only relevant to Irene, though, right?
To a degree.
To a degree.
They might tie in to the bigger story, or they might not.
Has Irene told us all about the factory and her brother and everything?
I don't believe she has. That is just for her at this point. Oh, that's right. She did want Alonzo to try to research David Jordan.
Okay. To the club! Point me to the whiskey.
Alright, so what you know about the Blue Pyramid Club so far is that it seems to be a popular ethnic hangout. And it should be located on your map. If you pull up your map of London, I'm actually not finding it on there.
Off the map, even better.
Yes, anytime that I refer to the sidebar, then that is the area on the right-hand side. So if I say images on the sidebar, story on the sidebar,
Yeah, for some reason the sidebar is not showing up for me.
that's probably a setting thing that you have then. Go to...
You can still get to the... I'm sorry, you can still get to the quest by going to the library.
Yes, and that's how you turn it on to the sidebar. So go to the library, and I didn't realize that you didn't have a sidebar, so since you're kind of new to the program here. So open up the library, and off to the right-hand side of each one of those items that you see there, there's like a little square box, and if you click that, put a little red dot into it, then it will place that item into the sidebar. And so the items that you may potentially find most useful to be in the sidebar are going to be images, story, characters, notes, NPCs, potentially if I share an NPC with you. Well, that one probably isn't too common for you guys. Items, if there's some sort of an item that I share with you and you want to see details about it, and quests. There are, of course, a whole slew of other things that you can choose from, but those will be your most common ones. Now, whenever you're trying to do things with your character building and stuff like that, you're actually making your PC within Fantasy Grounds, you'll want to pull from a whole bunch of other things like the skills list and the talents and the equipment and all kinds of various different things. But now that character creation is done, those can just kind of be tossed to the side because you won't really need those anymore once they're on your character sheet. Did you manage to get that taken care of, or do you need any more assistance? working out those details of the Fantasy Grounds interface.
Good.
Okay.
I think we were following Irene's lead, and we were talking about splitting up, too. I know the Pyramid Club was mentioned.
Yes, the Blue Pyramid is definitely on the list of places to visit tonight, I believe. So, what you guys have to decide is whether or not you're going to all go there together, or if there's some people that are going to do something different other than going to the Blue Pyramid.
I mean, we were in Irene and Barney's backyard, so I was kind of just following their lead. My goals are pretty much stay out of prison and not get killed.
And that is a fairly good aspiration. Something to strive for.
Yeah, gun permits. Let's just go. We're not gonna be checking gun permits at the Blue Pyramid.
Yeah, just bring my gun in your purse. I mean, hopefully we don't need it. I mean, I know the odds have been stacked against us and all, but hopefully we just don't need it, you know? Well, just bring it with you and stay close.
Got the happy slapper.
That still just doesn't sound right.
You have to read the Mr. Mercedes trilogy by Stephen King.
Who's this Stephen King? I don't think he's born yet.
Then how do you know who he is? Let's just go.
All right, slap away. Yeah, Barney, you got some digs we could wear? I didn't really bring anything dress up, you know? Or is it that kind of club?
It's probably unusual, whether or not, or unknown. I guess what I'm trying to say is it'd be unlikely that Barney would go to this type of establishment in the past. Um, Probably not his type of a hangout, but it's his character, and we'll let Barney decide whether or not he really knows very much about the Blue Pyramid Club. Oh, that's right, Barney's not here. Well, then, with the lack of Barney, then I'm going to say that this is not quite his place. Maybe he's heard about it, but a little low on Barney, yes. And as far as Irene, what is your character? What is her take on the Blue Pyramid? Is it someplace that she would have ever have gone to? Being kind of an ethnic um, hangout club kind of a place.
I'm guessing it's going to be pretty low key and bohemian if it's ethnic. Quote, ethnic.
Now that's the only thing that I would think that you would have ever have gone there is on business. Not, I can't see Irene wanting to go to an Egyptian club for personal aspirations. Um, and there's not really a reason why you would have gone there on business either. I mean, it's a fairly low key club. You know, they've never caused any problems or um, been a point of contention or anything like that. So, all right. So, what you do
So
know
they have-
though is basic information about the Blue Pyramid, easily obtainable from anyone that you would talk to, or you could ascertain from calling the place up and asking around a few questions. But it's located at 12B Meard Street. The Blue Pyramid Club is a private members club in Soho, London. The area in general, Soho that is, offers many cheap eating houses and coffee shops like the Moorish Cafe and the Algerian, and is a fashionable locale for intellectuals, writers, and artists. The Soho area has long been notorious for its pubs, inhabited by drunken revelers, and its illegal brothels.
Wait, so this is a private club, or we're gonna have trouble getting in?
Don't know. You won't know until you go, I guess.
Time to break out the fast talk.
For members and their guests, the Blue Pyramid is known to provide a meeting place as well as entertainment, typically in the form of belly dancers, Egyptian singers, and Egyptian food.
Woohoo! Let's go. I'm telling you,
Thus,
I can get us in.
thus, it attracts many Egyptian nationals and expatriates, as well as a smattering of English bohemian types.
I'm telling you, I can get us in. Don't worry about it. Let's just go. Hail us a hackney cab.
So that's kind
I'm losing confidence in your skills. You keep saying you can do a lot of things, but so far you haven't really been able to do.
Just stand back and watch me operate this bouncer at the door.
Hey, if he just starts kicking your face in, I can't guarantee I'm gonna help.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's
I'll
see some
take
of
care
those
of it.
kung fu skills.
Yeah, hot girls are usually more readily accepted into clubs than those ugly guys.
I'm talking some hot, half Japanese action here.
All right, so
Maybe
you guys,
Weasel. Weasel
you
might have
guys
trouble getting in.
all
Yeah,
heading
might.
over to Soho.
Yeah, there's only
Bell.
4 of us.
All right, Barney is choosing to hang out at home. He needs to take care of some things here at the townhouse, or maybe he has some family matters that came up. His dad called him and wants to meet with him to discuss a few things. Some recent things have been going on over at the townhouse. Yeah, Barney probably wouldn't be relegated to the physical cleanup kind of stuff. That's what the maids are for. But his dad probably does want to talk to him about some rumors that he's been hearing.
Oh, whip might go over well in a Soho club. I might like that.
Chaps. Okay, so while we're at it, how are all of you dressing? Are you just going in your normal street duds, or are you going to dress up into something kind of nice?
I ask Irene because I have no clue on clothes, so I'll be like, Irene, what do you wear to a place like this?
She probably has a nice dress you can put on, Charlie.
Hey, you're the one with the feminine features. I mean, I might look like a rat, but you look like a girl.
Why, thank you.
Hey, just careful if you get arrested. That's, you know what I mean.
I knew you were into me.
No.
Let's see what Barney and Kansas's size are. See if you guys are roughly about the same size here.
I'm just going as I am.
Alonzo, how
Barney's-
tall are you? And what do you weigh? Like, are you small like me, or what?
5'9",
Okay, I'm 5'10", but really skinny.
180.
Okay, Barney is size 55, putting it in meta terms. Kansas is size 40. So, Barney is a little bit of a stockier, beefier kind of a fellow than Kansas is. So it might be a little bit difficult for Kansas to wear Barney's stuff. It might be a little bit baggy on him. Thought that someone stopped by and picked up some nice clothes whenever you guys were out early in the day. Was that Charles that did that, or?
It wasn't me.
Oh, was that back in New York? When you were getting ready to go visit Erica, that is right, yes. So, you would still have those pretty nice clothes, Kansas, if you, wanted to wear those.
Telling you, it's Soho. You don't gotta get dressed up.
But we're not talking like a formal suit or anything like that. He just kind of, like a little sports coat and, decent button-up shirt. Just so that he's not wearing his leather jacket and his hat with his whip over his shoulder. All right, are you guys ready to fast forward over to the Blue Pyramid?
I am so ready.
Okay. As you head on over to the Blue Pyramid, leaving Barney's townhouse, I would like for all of you to give me a spot hidden roll to keep in reserve for some future.
Woohoo!
Oh, Alonzo, this might be your day.
I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
Alright, this is not a stressful situation or anything like that. This is just a general awareness type of thing that I'm calling for, just to see if you're aware of your surroundings. So this is not really worth a check mark at this particular point. So as you travel the streets of London, heading over to Soho and to the address that you looked up in the pages for the Blue Pyramid Club, you arrive at the address. It looks like a two-story building, and it looks like there's some sort of a shop on the ground floor. And there's a door that leads inside, and there is a sign on the outside of the building that says Soho Club upstairs.
Any reason to hang back at this point, lady and gentlemen?
I just came to watch you get your ass kicked by the bouncer.
Don't hold your breath. Birdie friend.
He says that with a smile, though. He's just giving me a hard time.
So as you enter into the front door of the building, you notice that there's a stairwell that leads upstairs, and there's also a rickety old lift. Apart from a few windows, there's no other exits besides the front door.
Not ideal. But I'm not going in that lift, I can tell you that right now. I got my sword cane. You know, I think they're going to be really charmed by your whip, Kansas.
Kansas is actually wearing his whip, all coiled up on his belt or on his hip.
The Brits are going to dig that American cowboy
Stuffed
look, man.
into your jacket. Okay, it's pretty bulky. I mean, it's not like it's just a little riding whip or something like that you can just kind of tuck into a pocket. I mean, we're talking about like probably a 15-foot whip here or something like that, with a big stiff handle, that's probably about 2 feet. Yeah, about a foot maybe, the stiff handle. And
Man, they are going to love you. Just wrap that thing around your shoulder, wear it low on your hip. They're going to be all over that.
okay, Kansas is doing the whip. Whipping nay.
So I'm glad to see that we're not going to stand out at all. A bunch of white guys, half Asian guy going to an Egyptian club. Huge bulge. This is going great already.
Huge bulge. Who's the one with the huge bulge? That's what I want to know.
Irene.
When they
yeah, that would be epic.
She's got the biggest balls of all of us.
All right. So Irene is checking the lift.
There's 2 at a time. I can taste that bourbon already. Anything that's not bathtub gin. Ready for this.
The lift functions. It goes up and down. It does kind of rattle and creak and everything a little bit as it operates. It's of course one of those old-fashioned lifts that has the accordion gate, that slides open and closed across the entry. And you open up one, and then you open up the second one. You enter into the lift, and you close the accordion gates behind you, and push the button, and it creaks and rattles and all that stuff as you ascend.
Kansas.
Okay, Kansas heads upstairs. Yeah, it just goes to the second floor. Kansas goes upstairs. Irene rides the lift, and pretty much, uh, Kansas gets upstairs. Just unless he's dawdling, taking his time going up the stairs. He gets upstairs just slightly before the lift makes it up. Because it does travel so slowly. Is anyone else going into the lift with Irene?
No.
Or is she the only one?
Charlie's going with Irene.
Okay.
I'm running up those stairs.
Alright, so Charlie and Irene, they hop into the elevator and take the ride of a lifetime together.
7 minutes in heaven for Charlie.
Alright, so lift gets up to the second floor. It opens up. And you just see basically an entry hallway for your kind of an area. The stairs, of course, also come up to the same landing. And the only thing at the end of this corridor, there's a window that overlooks the street below. The lift is on the other side of the room, and so the lift is to the north, the window is to the south, and then over to the east side of this room is a singular door with a sign beside it that says Soho Club. I'm sorry, Blue Pyramid Club.
I'm going to go knock on that door. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits.
Okay, you knock on the front door, and you're greeted by a well-dressed doorman. Hello. Membership cards, please.
Hello, my good man. We are new in town, and we were told some fabulous things about your club. We'd like to check it out.
I'm sorry, sir. This club is members only.
Oh, but surely you must have openings for visitors just to check things out, especially thirsty Americans with lots of do-re-mi.
Well, if you want to become a member, then of course you can pay the membership fees, and that can be arranged.
And what are the membership fees, my good man?
Oh, to become a member, you register your name and you pay a £5 fee.
No problem. Where do I sign up?
One moment, please. Let me get the book. He closes the door and leaves you waiting in the hall for just a moment. Then he comes back and he opens up the door with a book in hand, and there's some paperwork, or it's a clipboard. There's some paperwork on the clipboard and a pencil, and he says, "Please, if you would fill out the information here, and The £5 with each application.
Will do.
So it's your
Application.
standard. It's your standard, membership application type of form. It has name, address, occupation, just general information type of a thing.
I'm going to fill in Brigham Young as my name. 1313 Josiah Smith Lane, Provo, Utah.
Okay. So, name, address, occupation. Yeah, I think there were driver's licenses back then. Someone could Google it real quick and find out what kind of personal identification people had. I mean, if you consider that, there were people had to have their papers with them and all that sort of stuff.
Have we seen any other Asian people in London?
Yeah,
Right in front of you.
You'd have a passport.
I said other.
Um,
Have we seen any other Asian? Yeah, not just.
Occasionally, but you wouldn't really have seen a lot. But there, you may have run across a few here and there. It seemed like most of the Asians that you've come across all seems to be servants of some sort.
Don't get any ideas, Chuck.
Think of like, the Green Hornet and Kato, and stuff kind of like that. Your lion tamer.
What?
Charles Lindbergh.
You might recognize that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular name. You might not be able to get that one to fly. Chuck Bigum. Okay. With some of these outlandish, very general fake kind of addresses and stuff, I think we're going to need a fast talk to go with that.
More than willing to do that.
Alonzo, this is your show.
It's the Alonzo show.
To kind of wrap everything up here, so he hands you the papers and gives you a moment to kind of fill those out on the clipboard, and then he waits to collect those from you along with your £5 fee. And just so that you guys can get a scoop on what exactly £5 is, I know that I had posted a conversion at some point. I think it was on the London money. Let's see. There's roughly $5 to £1. So we're looking at about $25.
Oh, that's my limit for the night.
And so each of you look
More
at
water.
your spending level. Kansas, for one, only has a $10 spending level.
All right, spending level is what? Like, where's the money one?
Look in your inventory tab, and you'll see cash and assets. And so the way that this game works is pretty much anything that is under your spending level, you can just kind of dish out money for within reason. I mean, you can't like buy, $100, $10 items. I mean, 100 different $10 items, just because it's under your spending level. I'm talking about the sum amount here. But spending level is just what you can easily easily dish out, without any kind of rolls or anything like that. Cash is cash on hand. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have in your pocket. That is cash that you can quickly come up with. Maybe you have some stashed in your suitcase. Maybe you have some items that you can quickly liquidate and turn into cash. Then you have assets, and assets is items that would take you some time to try to liquidate those and turn those into money. Now, if you
So, as I understand it, my good man, a member can bring his friends, is that correct? So, do we all have to actually join, or could I join and invite my friends in?
there is a limit of one friend per member.
I could spot some of you some cash. Nature.
Now, you can try to see whether or not you can spring for the money if it's above your spending level by making a credit rating roll. And so that's how that's the game mechanic for seeing whether or not you happen to have enough money on you to to be able to come up with the amount of dough that's necessary.
Kansas.
So I was just looking at Kansas's sheet, but looking at Alonzo, I think he's pretty wealthy. He's got a spending level of 50, so he could manage that. Charles has a spending level of $10. He's more like Kansas. And
I've got a lot of cash though.
And Irene has a spending level of 50. Irene's pretty pretty well off as well.
If I've learned one thing in the next game of Call of Cthulhu, I'm going to be a rich librarian and I'm going to own it.
Not a librarian, I'm a doctor, you rube.
No,
I'm saying those are so useful.
Saying that he wants to be a rich librarian because this game isn't like your typical adventure where you just want to be the action adventure star, kind of a thing.
I don't know, shooting stuff a lot's been pretty handy.
Yeah, for you it has paid off in a couple instances.
Do you still want a fast talk roll?
Yes, because you guys. So what's happening here is you are filling out your memberships. Well, what is your final? So you inquired about not having everyone sign up to be a member and just having a friend, and he tells you one friend per member. And
Kansas here is my friend.
So you tell him that you'll fill out the application and that this guy right here will be my guest. Okay, he takes a look at your form. And now, what did you put down as your? You were the Mormon.
Brigham Young.
Brigham Young, yes. And
High elder of the church.
High elder. So, fortunately for you, he's not really very familiar with the Mormon Latter-day Saints religion, and he looks it over, and uh, he kind of raises an eyebrow and asks a few questions, and you manage to fast talk your way around a few things that someone else might get tripped up on. And he
And I
says,
wink at Charles.
very, very well. It looks like everything is in order. Now, if you wouldn't mind the £5, please.
Of course, my good man. Here you go.
He takes your money and your application
Does that
form.
include a free drink?
No, sir. Drinks are extra.
Not even for a new member? I think you guys need to take some marketing courses.
The club has other features that you may find appealing.
Very good, then. There's no champagne room here, Chuck.
All right, so he steps aside after taking the £5 from Alonzo and allows Charles. Oh, wait a minute. Was it Charles or was it Kansas? Who was your
I'm
friend?
bringing Kansas
You're
in.
bringing Kansas, okay. And
Kansas is my +1.
allows Kansas and Alonzo into the club.
See you inside, suckers.
So as you pass through the door, there's a narrow hallway that extends to the east, down the past the entry door, and at the far end you can see some double doors. And on each side of the hallway, about midway down the hall, you see a door exiting to the south and exiting to the north. There's a little placard on each of the doors. The one to the south says drawing room. And then the one to the north says coffee room. You can hear music coming from the end of the hallway towards the double doors. We'll leave you there for just a moment, and we're going to jump back to Irene and Charles.
All right, Irene, let's see those acting skills.
You say out loud.
I whisper into her ear. Charles is feeling a little froggy tonight, probably because I'm sleep deprived. That's probably a good thing.
Show them those gams.
Give me just a second here, Irene. I can't read and fiddle with the screen at the same time here, so I'll reply to you, not ignoring you. Just need to finish pulling up what I'm messing with here. Okay, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Club's open to members only. However, you are free to sign up for a membership if you wish. Just as I told the previous gentleman. It's £5, and you must fill out the application form. Yes, also as stated to the previous gentleman, each guest may invite one friend. By the way, the doorman is of Middle Eastern, you figure probably Egyptian descent. He's wearing kind of an ethnic kind of a garb. Not anything like too outlandish, fairly tasteful. But something that you would not normally see on the streets of London.
Damn, if Irene gets in, I'm screwed. I don't have any money. Well, I've got cash. My credit rating sucks.
I don't know, ma'am. Do you know any of our guests? If you gave me a name, perhaps I could confirm that. Give me a luck roll, Irene.
And Garrion, can I try to use that moment to just walk in with a stealth while he's being distracted?
He's standing right in the middle of the doorway. So
Okay, cool. No worries.
I don't think you're gonna be able to stealth past him.
That'd be awesome.
And he's a pretty big, burly kind of guy. He fills up the doorway pretty well.
Oh man, that's like if I got my ass beat in front of
No,
Alonzo.
I want you to roll luck first, Irene, and you'll find out why, if you succeed. Okay. Just as luck would have it, there's another guest of the club who is coming up the stairs, and he's coming down the hallway there from the end of the stairs up towards the door, and you're standing there, kind of batting your eyelashes and everything at the doorman, talking about how someone might want you to be their guest, and kind of about a middle-aged English gent. Um, looks fairly decent. He's dressed relatively nicely. Um, Not anything too fancy, but also not a street rat or anything like that. He seems to be holding himself fairly well, but you do notice that he kind of gives you a prolonged glance as he seems to be checking you out slightly as he approaches the doorway coming down the hall. And I'm going to move your token a little bit here to where you're standing right in front of the door, and Charles is kind of back off here to the side. And so let me pull up, not that it really is important here, but just so that we can get an idea. We're gonna put E here for English gent as he's coming down the hallway. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist or anyone super keen on the intuition to get the feeling that this guy is checking you out a bit. He likes what he sees. And he does not have anyone with him. He is alone. As you say this, he kind of looks off down the hallway to the left at the approaching gentleman. Says, "Ah, sir, Mr. Carlson, nice to see you again." The young lady here was wishing entry into the club and said that you may vouch for her. Is she your guest? The man kind of pauses for a moment. He looks at Irene. You can tell that he's kind of thinking it over for a moment. Is there anything that you'd like to do to help to expedite his consideration. Yeah, give me a charm roll. Sure, I'll let you do that as well. He pauses for a moment. He continues to look you up and down. You can see a certain glimmer in his eyes.
It's too funny. Oh, that's so funny.
He likes Charlie better.
then he looks over to Charles in the background, and as if Charles suddenly has caught his eye over Irene. And he says, no, but this chap back here looks more like the type of guest that I would bring with me.
Oh my god, I couldn't breathe. Charles looks up, completely surprised, taken aback, looks and thinks, damn, I'm broke, and says, okay. yeah, sure, why not?
As Charles steps forward, Irene is just kind of sitting there, just kind of aghast, and she can't really quite believe what has just happened here. And the gentleman, he kind of gives a little bit of a wink to Charles.
Giving Action Jackson a whole new meaning.
And the gentleman, he kind of takes his hand and he kind of waves waves Irene forward. I mean, not Irene. Waves Charles forward and says, "Please, sir, come into the club."
Well, that was awful nice of you. Thank you.
Yes, well, maybe I can get you some drinks as well.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. I'm Chuck, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Chuck. My name is Xavier.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Xavier. It's my first time in London. It's nice to see everyone so polite.
Yes. Now, please come with me. I'll show you how English hospitality is.
That sounds fantastic.
You sound like you're from across the sea, from the States.
Yeah, that's right. I live just outside of D.C.
Ah, yes, well, I've always been interested in your country. Perhaps maybe you can share of your um, some of your culture with me.
That sounds great. Let's go. Let's go swap some stories. It'll be fun.
So he motions Charles in. Charles enters, and the bouncer steps aside as Charles and the English gent move into the hallway. Leaving Irene sitting in in the hallway, just aghast and just not really believing what just happened. You know what? I thought that it was a fun thing, so even though you did it as a joke, I'm I'm willing to go with it. So Irene, what do you do at this point? The bouncer steps back in front of the doorway. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't quite understand what you mean. Kansas and Alonzo, as you guys are in the hallway, kind of deciding where you're wanting to go, you see an English gentleman and Charles walking into the hall. There's a little table setting just inside, and the Englishman he stops for a moment and he signs in to the book that is sitting there. And as he does, you happen to notice you probably just weren't even really aware of its presence. But there's a little placard there that says all guests, or I mean um, all visitors, all members and visitors, please sign in. It was just a little bitty small placard, probably very easy for you to walk past and just completely miss, or um, just subconsciously ignore. Had the gentleman not stopped there to sign into the register into the log.
Hold on there, Kansas. I almost forgot to sign in. So I run back to the desk, sign in my name, Brigham Young, but I also want to take a quick peek through the rest of the names.
Okay. Give me a roll.
What kind of roll do you want?
Well, it's not really necessarily spot hidden because there's nothing that's necessarily hidden here. Um, Maybe a research roll to see if you recognize a name. Um, it could maybe be a knowledge roll. Of course, the difference between those two is if you succeeded at a research roll, then you could potentially be different information than a knowledge roll, along with being able to click off a successful skill check.
see here.
Yes, library use. I kind of use library use as a general catch-all for um, research-related kind of things.
So I should roll a library use roll here?
You can
Or
do
the
that, or you can do knowledge. Just a flat-out knowledge.
let's do flat out knowledge. Crap.
You look over the list of names just briefly, and none of them really seem to stand out at you as anything that you recognize. No name that you've come across in your short time that you've been here. Yes, if you're going to sign in yourself, Kansas, then you can kind of glance over the list as well as you're signing in. What did I say this English guy's last name was? Was it Carlton? Xavier Carlton? That's what I thought I said. So I'm going to jot that name down here in my little list of notes.
Nice, Kansas.
Xavier Carlton.
Can you give him a middle initial T?
T.
Then his
Carlton.
Well, then his initials will be XTC.
Sure, it can be Xavier T. Carlton.
He's going to give Charlie the thrill of his life tonight.
Ecstasy. All right, so Kansas, a hard success. Whew. I don't know how to do this. So, what you notice, Kansas, is not necessarily a particular name that comes out to you. What you notice is that about 75, in this small sampling that you have on this page, about 75% of the people signing in seem to be some sort of an ethnic Egyptian type of a name. The other 25% seem to be some sort of an English type of a name. All of the names seem to be rather generic. Lion tamers. Not quite so much as John Smith, but kind of the equivalent for that culture. Like Xavier for example. I mean, that's not like John or something like that, but that name is kind of doesn't really stand out as anything odd or different. It's not really a catchy name or anything like that. I guess I should have probably given him a name more like Jim something, but Xavier is a fairly common name in this this day and age. At least we'll say it is. Cecil. Henry. Abdul. And different types of things like that. And so something just kind of triggers in your mind. I mean, it could be nothing, it could be something, but just all the names just seem to be a fairly generic type of name. More importantly, though, do you sign in after Xavier, or do you sign in before Xavier? I want to say, since he was moving over to the desk to sign in, that it was probably after, right?
That makes sense.
That's what I would say. You don't really know the significance of this in character. But Charles may notice it. Charles, give me a perception roll. Is there an actual strength, appearance, power, intellect? Okay. Again, it's not really particularly hidden, but that's probably the closest thing that we have to it. You notice that he does not write his name down as Xavier.
Do I see what he does write it down as?
Sure. He writes it down as Henry Jones.
Okay. Xavier, should I call you Henry while we're here?
You're actually going to bring that up in character?
Yeah. I mean, if you're not supposed to be here, I don't want to get you in trouble.
You may call me whatever you wish. Call me Xavier. Call me Henry. We go by many names.
I like Xavier.
Yes.
Sounds sophisticated.
And what, had you already introduced yourself, Charles?
I put Chuck. Yeah, okay. He's completely oblivious. He has no clue. He's just thinking he's a nice English gentleman.
Okay.
I put Chuck Bigham.
Chuck Bigham. Okay. And that's what you put on your application, right? Was Chuck Bigham?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you put Chuck down there, and he says, yes, and is there something that you would prefer to be called besides Chuck?
Chuck's fine. I've got nothing to hide.
Very well. Then Chuck you shall be. And then he motions for you to continue on down the hall. Says, you are new here to the club, and we have several luxuries that we can enjoy while we're here. Would you care for a cup of tea, or would you prefer to go into the sitting room? Of course, if you want to go straight to the entertainment, then the dance room is down the hall.
Back in the States, we got prohibition going on, so I haven't had a drink in a while. Why don't we start there?
Yes, this guy is English. He is definitely English. Down to the look, down to the accent, everything. He is British.
Sounds like the dance room's really hopping.
Then, let's go see what the dancers look like tonight.
Yeah, sure. Hey, let me introduce you to a couple of my friends right here first.
Oh, you know these gentlemen?
Yeah, they just came in before me. We were looking at joining up in the club, and I happened to meet you at the door. So, hey, let me introduce you.
Hey, Chuck, who's your boyfriend?
Aha, very funny. Hey, this is Xavier, gentlemen. He doesn't know what names you put down, so he just says, gentlemen.
Glad to meet you, Xavier. My name's Brigham.
Ah, as in, that is an unusual name. Is it, I recognize your American accent. Is that based on your religion?
Nah. Just a popular name in the old West where I'm from. Western states, Utah.
What brings you to the club tonight, Brigham?
Let me tell you there, Xavier. It's, you may have heard something in the States called Prohibition. I am here for the drinking.
Ah, then you have come to the right place.
Thank God.
Now, I see that you were about to sign in on the registry. If you don't mind, your friend Chuck and I will are heading to the ballroom, and you may join us there if you wish to talk further.
Just gotta warn you, Chuck doesn't kiss on the first date. Buy him a drink, loosen him up a little bit. He needs it. He's an uptight son of a bitch.
Unlike Bingham here, who likes to kiss and
Brigham.
just joking right back. Yeah, I like calling him Bingham.
This is my friend over here. Why don't you introduce yourself? Kansas, what's your name?
I thought you were going by. I thought you put down a different name.
Landon, the lion tamer. I like it.
I thought you put like Charles Lindbergh or something like that. Isn't that what you? Okay.
Landon Lindbergh. Lesser known brother.
Landon, nice to meet you. Well, please, if you and your friend don't mind, see yourselves around the club and perhaps maybe catch up with us later.
Yeah, guys, we'll catch up with you later. We're gonna go check out the ballroom.
I'm awfully thirsty and would like to partake of a beverage.
I'll be right behind you, Mr. X.
That sounds fantastic. Come
He
on,
heads-
Xavier. He's getting on my nerves already.
He heads down, and then these two are signing in at the book, and you guys spot in the book that this guy who has just been told that by Chuck, by Charles that his name is Xavier, you notice that he just wrote down in the book that his name was Henry. And Henry Jones. And you notice that a lot of the other names in the book are comparatively generic, just as I said to you earlier. Now, we're going to pause with the hallway activities, and we're going to head back out to the hallway with poor little Irene, who has just been dumped in the hallway. She's standing there, looking heartbroken, all dressed up. Well, if that's the case, then old Jared Covington should be a guest here. Yeah, the door's still open. The doorman is standing right there in the door, and you can see Alonzo and Kansas stopped for a moment talking um, to Chuck and to the English gentleman.
When I started writing about my travel experiences, that's where Grammarly came in for me. It was like this.
Hey, now that's what I played last time. Whenever I said that you guys were going to the Blue Pyramid. That's more of what you hear. Although this might actually get me in trouble. It's a good thing this isn't a paid channel. I'd hate for this to be a copyrighted song or something. Alright, so Irene is going to leave then? Or are you going to still try to seek entrance, Irene? Yes, the factory is usually closed at night. As you walk away, seemingly losing interest, the bouncer says, "Please come again to the Blue Pyramid should you find a friend." Okay, we will get back to Irene's activities here in just a little bit. So Irene is going to leave. I want to put her down here just at the bottom of the map since she's leaving. All right, now for everyone else, Kansas and Alonzo, are you guys also going into the dance room?
Definitely.
Okay. So I am going to reveal the dance room. Okay, once inside, you can watch the floor show, which consists of belly dancing routines as well as musical sets performed by the club's resident quartet of musicians. At points, the dancers leave the small stage and go about the tables, encouraging the patrons to give them a few coins. So, it's not really shown on the map, but this entire open area here is just filled with a bunch of tables. Kind of like roundish kind of banquet tables with chairs around them and centerpieces. The whole room has the club's decor is naturally Egyptian in theme, with a number of large mirrors that act to make the rooms appear larger than they really are. The place is well kept and, in terms of its business, entirely above board. The hours that you saw on the sign out front did state that it was open from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. every night of the week.
I want to belly up to the bar.
Okay.
What's your poison there, Landon? Barkeep, 2 whiskeys, if you please.
The barkeep behind the bar, he grabs a couple whiskeys and serves them up to you. You have a credit rating, or you have the cash on hand, the expenditures to be able to afford, some drinks here. So he serves you some drinks, and there's, in addition to the bar itself, there also seems to be people who are coming around to the tables, and you can order drinks from the waiters as well. Of which Xavier orders a couple drinks, one for himself, one for Charles.
Umbrellas in them.
Nope, no umbrellas. It's some scotch. Do you guys sit next to the two of them, or do you find your own table?
I was just going to hang out at the bar for a little bit.
Okay, so Alonzo's
Check the
just
place out.
hanging at the bar then. How about you, Kansas? Are you hanging at the bar?
I'm going to clink glasses with Kansas and say, "Chin chin, Langdon. Here's to the, let's toast to the spirit of St. Louis."
Okay, Kansas is just kind of hanging out at the bar as well. You do notice that Xavier and Charles go over, have a seat. Nothing really unusual is going on other than the guy ordering some drinks. And he seems to be talking to Charles. But other than that, not really anything. You notice a wide variety of people in the club here. Again, most of the vast majority of them are Egyptian in nature. There are some English-looking people in here as well. There also seems to be a fair mix of male and female. Probably a little more male, but there's women in here as well. There's couples, men and women in here together that are seated together, having drinks and talking and all of that kind of stuff. Now that you're inside the club, is there anything particular that you're wanting to look for, that you're wanting to do after you have yourself a few drinks? And we're going to, I'm going to handle things with Charles personally whenever he gets back.
Barkeep, what's the good word, my man? What's the most unusual thing you've ever seen in this place?
Ah, the ladies, sir. The ladies are exquisite. A feast on the eyes.
That they are. Nothing besides the ladies, though.
What was that you said?
Anything special besides the ladies? And my friend here wants to know if any celebrities have come in.
Oh,
Or will.
no particular celebrities. At least not anyone that you would probably be familiar with. As you can see, this is the bartender is obviously Egyptian. Um, this is our little home away from home, a place in this country that we can feel like we are back in Egypt.
A little Cairo, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
Marvelous.
May I get you some more drinks?
Keep them coming, sir.
He pours a couple more rounds. And I want for Kansas and Alonzo to both give me some constitution rolls.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, Alonzo is apparently unlike most Asians, and he can handle his alcohol pretty well. And, however, Kansas is not handling his well at all. He is getting drunk as a skunk.
Langdon, my friend, had no idea.
Alonzo notices this. No, I didn't spell it out, but I can, if you wish. Let me get that for you. I will eventually put it on the NPCs list.
Did see the spice
Zahra Shafiq.
the spice dealer's very close to the club there. This is anyway. Hey.
Yeah, it's been in the quest list for some time. At least since last session, I put it in there. What did you roll on your thing on the list, Alonzo? It was a hard success, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say that you saw Zahra Shafiq on the list.
Oh no, on the list. I'm sorry. No, I failed that.
Oh, you failed. Okay, then was it Kansas who succeeded? Okay, Kansas got the hard success.
Yes, Kansas.
You noticed that the name Zahra Shafiq was on the list. I think you were only a few points away from a extreme success, weren't you? Okay.
Eight points away from extreme.
Okay. So, Kansas, from this point forward, you are intoxicated. So I want you to play that as such. Alonzo is continuing to hold his liquor. Whenever Brice gets here, I want to make him roll for Charles. You were told that she was a spice dealer in Soho, so that would have been relatively easy to look up. You could have easily have found out where her shop was at. And if it's listed on the map, then it's pretty much common knowledge. Maybe not something you know immediately, but something that you can at least find out with just a simple inquiry.
Langdon, my friend, let's find you a seat at one of these tables here.
He's already sitting on the bar stool.
Real seat, closer to the floor.
Charles, you have been enjoying a few drinks that Xavier has been buying for you, and he has been chatting it up with you. And so we'll handle that in character here shortly. Kansas, you notice that Kansas and Alonzo are back at the bar behind you. They're not engaging with you or sitting with you at the table. This room is filled with a whole bunch of lounge sofas and tables and just all kinds of things. Places where you can just lounge and relax and enjoy the show. So Xavier, oh no, the dancers are most definitely women. This is not a gay club at all. At least you're not getting any kind of indication that that's the case. It's playing traditional Egyptian type of music. The belly dancers are gyrating and moving and very intoxicating. The aromas filling the air are very ethnic. The decor of the room very ethnic. It's almost like you'd stepped into an inn in the middle of Cairo, from what you could imagine, since you've never been there. So Xavier, on the other hand, along with buying you drinks and all this kind of stuff, he's just chatting it up with you, just getting an idea of chit chat and various different things. And so give me a Constitution roll, Xavier. I'm sorry, Charles. Okay, you're managing to keep your wits about you for the most part. You're enjoying some drinks, but you're not overdoing it too much. And so Xavier is talking to you a bit. He says, "So, Chuck, what brings you here to London?"
Yeah, I actually came with my friends over there. We're just passing through. I do some private investigation back in the States, and we're following up on some leads.
Oh, that sounds most exciting. The life of a private eye. It's much like those novellas that you read with the private investigator and all of his exciting noir tales.
Well, I know there's a lot of good English literature with with mystery and suspense, of course.
Yes, the great Sherlock Holmes is one of our finest.
Yeah, it's well known everywhere, of course.
So, what is it that you're investigating?
Let's just say we're looking into some pretty bad people and have the interest of the people at heart. There's some scary people out there. We just want to make sure they don't hurt nobody.
Yes, you have to be careful nowadays. You never know what you might run into. It's a different kind of world that we live in.
You're telling me.
I think that the Great War opened up many people's eyes. We all thought that we were living in peace and harmony and luxury. And then the war came, and we saw all the tragedy and the horror.
Yeah, that's some people's reality still, they're living amongst it every day. We're lucky to be in societies that are generally peaceful.
So tell me about life in the U.S. What is it like over there?
Well, it's dry, that's for sure. That definitely dulls things down. But there's a lot happening, everything's growing real quick, and the big cities are just springing up and full of life, and that attracts the wrong kind of people too. But America's it's a good place. It's a good mixture of things. We got our problems, don't get me wrong, but I like it.
When you say it's dry, is the America going through a drought? Are there deserts?
He taps his glass and says, prohibition and all.
Oh, yes, yes, the prohibition. What was your government thinking with that?
I don't know. It seems to me if you ban it, it's just going to go underground and it's going to create crime, and that seems what it's doing so far.
Yes, I have heard that the crime syndicates have taken advantage of those laws and have um, managed to make quite a name of themselves.
They have, and they're ruthless too. And not only that, but the people that are supposed to be protecting us, a lot of times, are on the payroll. So it just makes the problem worse.
And so what is the life of a private eye like?
Oh, you get to meet all kinds of interesting new people, that's for sure. But you see the best of the best and the worst of the worst.
Now, who's the worst that you've ever come across? What were they like?
Um. Well, I mean, honestly, probably a couple cultists that were killing people by cutting them in half and doing some nasty stuff, ritual stuff.
Oh,
But you don't want to hear about all that. That's gruesome. He takes a big sip of his drink at that point.
cultists. What in the world would lead you to consort or with cultists who do such things as that?
Oh, I didn't consult with them. I shot them.
Oh, oh my. We don't. I forgot that you Americans are all cowboys with your guns everywhere.
You want to see a real cowboy? He points over to Kansas. Landon the lion tamer over there. That's a real. That's your real cowboy.
Yes. What is with that thing that he has?
I think it's an insecurity issue. It gives him some purpose or something. I don't know. Must be hiding some.
Ah, yes. I guess everyone has their insecurities that they must compensate for.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's real smart. The other guy, he's growing on me. He's kind of like annoying little brother, but we're hoping he grows up. He just likes to talk a lot.
So these friends of yours, they are from the States too. What do they do? Are they also investigators?
They got different skill sets. The cowboy over there is actually pretty good with history, and the Asian guy, he's a doctor, so they're always handy to have around.
Hmm. An investigator and a historian and a doctor. Well, that is definitely an interesting combination.
Yeah, very helpful when you get into hard situations like we get. I'm trying to avoid anything that's like hard or tight. It's definitely difficult when you get into tight situations. He's gonna like take an innuendo that I don't mean. We'll go with that. Well, it's definitely good to have a doctor when you get into tight situations like we do.
It's hard in tight situations. Usually
So,
recommend some lubricant for that.
these friends of yours, were they also involved with these other investigations with these bad people and everything?
They're like subject matter expertise, They're good. For instance, if you got somebody cut up, the doctor could tell you if it was done in like a ritual manner or just some crazy hacking people. And cowboy over there, he actually speaks some foreign languages and reads hieroglyphics and stuff. In addition to taming lions, of course.
Ah, so
But
he's
enough about me. What do you do, Mr. Xavier?
oh my life is boring. I just lead the life of a normal um, British gentry. My family has money. We own companies, and I really don't have to work.
Sounds nice. You can use that time to pursue your interests. What other things are you interested in?
Oh, a variety of things. I like to talk to people, find out uh, what different cultures are like, and that's kind of why I'm here to and like hanging out at this place. I'm interested in the Egyptian culture and the studies that have gone on over in Egypt. Perhaps maybe at some point I'll get a chance to go over and visit the deserts and the pyramids.
Oh, I'm surprised. I thought you would have already done so. Have you been out of your country? Like Africa, safari, or even to the States?
No, I've never had the opportunity to do so.
Well, if you ever come to DC, you should look me up. I can show you around.
Oh, is that where you're from? From DC?
Yeah, that's where I'm working out of.
I see. And uh, are there is there a high demand for private investigators in DC?
Yeah, absolutely. Any big city is going to require my services for sure. But this one also has some personal to it as well. I knew one of the people that got killed. Name's Elias Jackson. He was a famous author. You might have heard of him.
Hmm. Elias Jackson. I I'm not sure that I know that name. You said that
He's
he was an author?
African American.
What did he
Yeah,
what
he's an African American fellow that he wrote a bunch of stuff about cults and stuff. I don't know what to believe in it or not, but I think one of his fans will say thought he was asking too many questions. By the way, Charles is a little tipsy, so he's probably being a little freer with his information. So I'm doing that in character
well,
because he does not drink a lot.
you did pass your constitution check, so at this point you're not really all that.
That's why I'm not giving him a hand job.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Nah, I'm holding out for Alonzo.
For a steak.
Yeah, I know. Dinner first.
Well, it
But you
sounds.
know,
So
go
you
ahead.
said you said that you're passing through. Where are you heading once you leave London?
I'm not 100% sure yet. We got a couple leads we could follow. They could go all over the map or the country.
Well,
Well, you know, I'm also enjoying London while I'm here too. You know, some beautiful old buildings and architecture here.
this investigation of yours sounds like it's very consuming.
Oh yeah, it's a full-time thing right now, but it's okay. You know, I got some good company, well, some okay company, and I kind of point to the guys at the bar.
And so private investigators they usually work for someone, don't they?
Yep, absolutely.
And so your employer, what is their stake that they have in this investigation of yours?
You know, that's one thing I can't tell you too much about.
Oh yes,
Just
yes. I'm
got to
sorry.
keep it
Yes,
secret. No,
yeah,
that's okay. It
yes.
doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that.
Clientele privacy, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, non-disclosure clause.
Oh yes, yes. I am not familiar with a proper jargon.
Basically means I can't talk about it. That's all.
Well, I understand, and I won't pry into uh, to things that should be kept private. Well,
Well, Xavier, it's been
how
real
are you
pleasure talking to you. Oh, go ahead.
how are you enjoying the club?
It's nice. The music's nice, and you know, I speaking of, I actually came in here. We were trying to get some more information. Excuse me for a second. I'm gonna go check in with my friends here. I'll be back here in a couple minutes.
Yes, yes. Would you like for me to order you another drink?
Yeah, in a few minutes. I don't want it to get watered down. It might take a couple minutes.
Sure.
I'd like to do some kind of roll to see if I think he's hitting on me. I don't know, like in character right now. I
Okay.
haven't really rolled anything, so like, what would that be?
So, like a psychology roll.
All right, I got a 10 in that. This should go well. This guy is super nice.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
he's just being very friendly. I mean, he hasn't made any
yeah,
moves on you at all. He's not
sure.
trying to touch your leg or scoot up close to you or anything like that. I mean, he's maintaining personal space and everything else, and he's just simply seems interested in what you do and why you're here.
Okay. Charles walks over to the bar
Okay, as you
and
walk
he's
over
like,
to the
"Hey,
bar, you notice that uh, Kansas is swaying a bit. He is slurring his words. He's a little bit tipsy, swaying a bit in his chair. Alonzo seems to be doing okay, and he's trying uh, to talk Kansas into moving to a better seated position other than the stool that he's on.
Hey, Chuck, you two set a date yet?
yeah,
He's...
very funny. He's just a nice guy."
Yeah, he is. Give me a hand here with Kansas.
Okay, so
I'm gonna walk him over to a seat.
so let's handle what Kansas is wanting to do here real quick. So he's trying to ask the bartender about the type of people who are regulars here, but yes, he is obviously getting a little drunk. Um, so Kansas, um, anything specific that you're asking, or just general questions? Oh, you're asking about the Pinhue Foundation. The Pew Pew place. And since you're drunk, that's probably what you call it. Yes, that's. I'm interested in the Egyptian the Egyptian scholars, the Pew Pew Foundation. Okay, so when talking to the bartender about the clientele here, he gives you the answer that most of our clientele are Egyptians who either live here in London or are passing through as they travel around. As I said, this is our little place that is home away from home, someplace where they can come and they can feel like they're back in Cairo and um, feel comfortable. Of course, the club has been gaining some popularity with um, the British locals, people such as yourselves who have heard about the club and about the drinks and the sights and the sounds and want to come in and see what the Egyptian culture is all about.
Look, barkeep, I'm going to be straight with you. You haven't heard anything about any murders around here?
Oh, yes, you're speaking of the Egyptian murders, that madman who seems to be targeting people who are Egyptian. I
Any clues, any rumors about who might be doing this?
we have no idea. The authorities would have surely have arrested this person had they, if they knew who they were.
But you don't have any information yourself, huh?
I wouldn't have any
Between
idea,
us.
or
Just
I
between
would
us.
I would have told the police. You know, I don't believe that it would be an Egyptian. Why would an Egyptian wish to kill other Egyptians? I can only guess that it must be an Englishman who is um, upset about us being in his country or something.
You think the Scotland Yard here is really caring about your community that much?
They they say that they're trying. I don't know.
Yes. In my experience, the white man doesn't care that much about what happens to the off-white man, if you
Yes,
get my drift.
yes. He kind of. Is this before Chuck comes over, or this after Chuck comes over?
Let's say it's after Chuck comes over.
Okay. He does not seem to want to discuss very much in front of Chuck as Chuck comes over. Kansas is a little bit tipsy and everything. He doesn't really seem to want to talk to about too much in front of him either. But he's less reluctant around Kansas because you get the feeling he probably doesn't think that Kansas is going to even catch half of what he says in his drunken state.
Chuck, do me a favor. Just borrow a table, get him sitting down in a chair with a back on it. I'm afraid he's not doing so hot.
Seems they're always chasing after helping Kansas out. But yeah, I can. Hey, bartender, can we get a big glass of water, please?
Yeah, get him a seltzer.
Come on, Lion Tamer. You got a big show in the morning.
So, Kansas, what's your reaction to them pulling you away from the bar and getting you a seat? Okay.
Buddy,
You go ahead
get a
and
front seat in front of the belly dancers over there, buddy.
you go with Charles then as he leads you away. Charles, are you taking him back to go sit with Xavier?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want him to get raped. Yeah, I'm gonna bring him back to the table.
Okay.
And be like, yeah, Xavier, I just had to check on my cowboy friend over here. He's getting a little tipsy.
Oh, the cowboy. Another person to talk with. I'd like to hear about his um, uh, adventures in whatever it is the cowboys do. And
Yeah, me too.
we'll get back to
Me
that.
too.
We'll get back to that here in just a second. We'll carry on the discussion with Xavier. I want to keep the focus
Okay,
on
cool.
Alonzo for just a moment here. And so,
Sure.
Alonzo, you're talking to the barkeep. You managed to get Charles to take Kansas away. And the
Okay,
bar.
barkeep, just you and me, just us two little Indians. Tell me, what do you know?
Well, I can't really say anything specific, but like I said, I think it's an Englishman. You know, it must be, you know, someone. You know, you said, you know, and that you understand. You know, you're obviously not a white man yourself. You are Asian of some sort. Where is it that you come from?
San Francisco, but yeah, you got me. My mom was Japanese.
The Japanese. Yes. Well, as you know, the English have claimed many lands. They have claimed the Indias. They have claimed the Orients. They have claimed the Middle East. Um, you know, many cultures have been subjugated by the British. I
You got that right.
I have no ill feelings towards them, but perhaps maybe they do not like us coming here to their country, despite the fact that they come to ours.
Yeah, they certainly took over that Suez Canal thing.
The the Suez Canal. Oh yes, yes.
Tell me you've heard of the Suez Canal, pal.
Yes. When was the Suez Canal built?
End of the 19th century, 1858,
Okay.
1869.
So yes, he would have known about the Suez Canal. Yes, and it has been a major point of power contention since then. Many peoples wanting to control it for being able to pass from the Mediterranean to the oceans is uh, for military and for trade is a mighty profitable matter.
Yeah, but how does that lead to an Englishman killing off Egyptians here?
Oh well I don't know. I can't say. That is the only thing that I can think of. As I said, I highly doubt that we would have a fellow Egyptian killing other Egyptians.
Yeah, I kind of find that unlikely myself. You've never heard any kind of rumors about anybody? Never seen any shady characters around here?
We have a variety of clientele. Um, Most of them, that is a members only club, and so, we don't get the typical riffraff that you normally see.
Yeah, but how carefully really do you check the names on there? I noticed when I was going through the sign-in book, there seemed to be a lot of John Does, if you know what I mean.
I cannot say. I do not inquire people about their names, and I do not look at the books.
You've never
Perhaps
seen anybody looking shady around here, huh?
perhaps maybe you should ask the owner. I am just simply a barkeep here. Abdul is the owner. You could speak to him if you had questions.
I would love to speak to Abdul. Is he around tonight?
Oh yes, he's here.
You
He's
point him out to me.
that man over there. He points out an individual.
Is Abdul a drinker? What does he drink?
He likes a fine martini.
Pour me up your best martini there, barkeep. What's your name, by the way?
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed. Not much of a Muslim, are you? Pouring out drinks in a bar.
You're so good at making friends.
It is a family name.
A family name. Fine. Pour me out your driest martini, Mohammed. I'm going to take it over to Abdul over there. I'm not casting any aspersions at Muhammad. I'm just a friendly jibe. Friendly jibe.
Yes.
Nice dry martini. Just a hint of vermouth there. Just wave the bottle a little bit over the glass.
I guess your name is Jimmy Chow too.
Excuse me?
Yes, you made a comment about Muhammad, Jimmy Chow. He is a Chinese man, isn't he?
Japanese, my friend, Japanese. Totally separate. Rarely get along. Anyway, pour me that dry martini.
I am sorry. I mean no disrespect.
I know you don't, Muhammad. It's all in good fun.
Alright, I'm trying to find the portrait here. Let me find Abdul. There he is. Abdul.
He looks like a friendly guy.
Anyway, he points out Abdul. He's kind of across the room. He's kind of meandering around, just kind of chatting to guests, making sure that it seems like he's just greeting people, shaking hands, talking, relatively cheerful kind of a guy.
I leave Muhammad a hefty tip. Thanks for your trouble, friend.
Yes.
Thanks for the advice.
You as well. And please, be safe.
I'm going to take the martini over to Abdul.
Okay, we're going to pause there for a moment. We're going to go back to the table with Xavier. And so, Kansas, Charles, and Xavier are all sitting at the table together. Now, what was it that you were wanting to do, Charles, at this point?
I was basically trying to get Kansas to talk, make an ass out of itself. It's pretty. more for my amusement. I'm not trying to be ruthless or anything. I'm just trying to have a little fun at his expense. Kind of like a story I could give him crap about later.
All right. Oh crap! I didn't mean to do that. Tag on it. Took everyone's tokens off the map. And Charles. Okay. Anyway, so he's has some drinks waiting for you. So go ahead and give me another Constitution roll with a setback die.
I'm actually gonna stop drinking before I pick back up.
Too late.
Oh no, I'm coming back there. I'm swapping out Kansas.
All right, so you're not taking a drink of what he.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Xavier. Thank you very much, but with the prohibition and all, I think I'll probably have my fill for a little bit. Maybe I'll get another one later.
I made this one special for you. It's your favorite drink that you said that you liked.
I tell you, last one. Okay, is that I appreciate it. I don't want to be rude.
Roofie on the
I'll drink one.
rocks.
All right, do I have a setback die too, or no? Because I've been making mine.
A setback die.
You said something about a setback die.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't know if that was
the penalty die. Mm-hmm.
okay. So I have one too, though. It's not because I failed. It's just because I've been drinking.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have a setback
just
die
making sure.
because of the number of drinks that you've partaken of.
Uh-oh.
And Alonzo, you were still continuing to drink more drinks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me another Constitution roll with a setback, or with a penalty die.
Ruh-roh.
Okay. All three of you can feel that the alcohol has gotten to your heads a little bit. Things are kind of swimming a little bit. You're not like full off, falling over drunk or anything like that, but you are definitely tipsy. You are starting to kind of slur your words a little bit. You're definitely enjoying the alcohol that you have been prohibited from having for quite some time now. And maybe you're drinking a little too fast. Maybe this stuff is just stronger than what you're used to. But you can feel it going to your head. And so all intelligence, well, pretty much all physical too, all rolls from this point forward are going to be influenced by the fact that you are inebriated. And so, as you're sitting here talking with Xavier, give me a psychology roll with a setback die.
Well, seeing how I have a 10, this should be fun.
And Kansas, this also applies to you as well. Okay. Kansas. So, we'll get to the outcome of your roll here in just a little bit. But after you come over, Xavier seems particularly interested in you. He starts talking to you about your attire, your choice of accessories, and and just general life as a cowboy. Um, and he's really particularly interested in Egypt, and so he asks you, a number of questions regarding Egypt. So, what did you say his name was? Whenever you introduced him, Charles, Chuck, Landon, um, Landon. If your friend has told me about you, said that you have conducted investigations together, and that you are quite the adventurer, that have traveled overseas and to Egypt, and that you're a bit of a cowboy. Yes, he said that that's the how did he put it, that you felt um, out of place if you didn't have your uh, whatever that is that cowboys wear. So this investigation, he told me that you were investigating stuff with him, and that you've come across some very bad people.
Now, Xavier, you're not supposed to go spilling all the secrets.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know that they were secrets, or you wouldn't have told me.
I just felt comfortable around you, that's all.
Well, I'm very sorry. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Are are there any other things that you told me that you don't wish me to discuss with your friend?
Well, now I couldn't say that in front of him now, could I?
Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. Um, I guess I wasn't thinking clearly. Maybe the drinks are going to my head as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling? Land in the lion tail?
And so this discussion goes on for quite some time, and the discussion moves away from the secretive information, or at least things that he kind of deems as secretive, and moves over to like a general um, Egyptology type of discussion. He's picking Kansas's brain about you know excavations and um, archaeology, and all of his adventures and everything else. And we don't have to necessarily do all of that in character, unless you just want to. Germany, China, Peru. Okay, very good. So he does ask you, and we're going to do this one in character. He asks you, so what is the most interesting thing that you've seen in your travels?
Can Charles try to make a roll to sober up on that? I mean, that's pretty serious.
Give me a
Setback con.
willpower roll with a setback die.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was some crazy shit.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this. What is this thing that you're speaking of? Vampire worms? That doesn't sound natural.
Yeah, it's more cult stuff. It's so crazy. I told you.
Surely you're making up stories. You're just trying to trick me to see if whether or not I believe these crazy tales.
Charles lifts up his shirt and shows the scar.
The
And he's like,
the guy looks aghast. He's like, oh, please, put your shirt down. I don't wish to lose my meal.
It's too bad. Oh, that's my only roll that I actually made. Oh, I know it's pretty brutal looking, but it's fine. It's healed up nice. Totally oblivious. He's like one of those worms tried to get at me, but a doctor did some field surgery. Landon was there.
The doctor over at the bar, the one.
Oh no, that doctor is really a shitty doctor. No, this was a good. This was a good doctor. The last doctor was really skilled. I don't really know what happened to him, but you know, we got to do what we can do.
He is no longer with you, so you had to find this makeshift doctor.
No, I think he's a real doctor. He's just not a very good one. But not many good doctors are willing to travel through the world with you. You know, they're busy being good doctors.
Yes. I guess I do not really know many doctors myself, but I suppose you must have a point.
He did some kind of medicine check before, and it was like a really easy one, and he didn't do very well on it. I don't remember who that was.
He does appear to be Asian as well. Don't they usually practice a different type of medicine?
You know, that's what I thought. You hear all these stories about Asian guys in college and being, good doctors and stuff, but so
No,
far we're not batting 100.
no, man. I meant like burning candles and you know saying hocus pocus stuff. It's not the same type of medicine as what we practice here.
Oh yeah, that's true. And you know this, they don't all know kung fu either.
he he looks at you with shock on his face, and he's like, "Really? I thought that all Chinamen knew kung fu."
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So your friend does not know kung fu?
No, not a lick of it.
Maybe he just wishes not to tell you. I hear that they are very secretive about their kung fu. That it is a forbidden thing to share with others.
Oh, maybe I should start being a little nicer to him then.
So what else did you see when you were in China, Mr. Landon? So, so you said that you encountered these worm creatures in Peru. Did you ever encounter anything of the supernatural in Egypt? They say that some of the tombs are haunted, that they're cursed. Your fountain. Oh, really? What did you hear about at the Pinhu Foundation? A black pharaoh? Really? You don't say. Like he was. Most Egyptians are not really what you would consider black, are they? Maybe perhaps he was a pharaoh that came from further south in Africa? Kansas, this is where your psychology role is going to kick in. You notice that at this point, upon mentioning the Black Pharaoh, and it particularly kicks in, and you kind of get this flood of realization that a lot of his discussion, which I didn't really do everything in character, um, has been geared towards trying to pick your mind about the supernatural and about studies in Egypt and about hidden locations and just all kinds of things of that nature. Just and it was done in a relatively subtle way that probably most people would not have picked up on. But even in your drunken state, and now that you've mentioned the Black Pharaoh, you can kind of tell that you've really piqued his interest now at this point. And he seems really excited to learn more about what you know. Ah, an evil pharaoh, like someone who killed many people, who took over the lands. That sort of pharaoh? Where was this book at that you found at the, you said the Pinhue Foundation? You notice as the conversation has been continuing on, he's been getting you talking about yourself, he's been engaging you in conversation, and he motions and some more drinks are brought. And almost without even thinking, you just go from one drink to the next. If you wish to try to resist continuing with the drinks, then you'll need to give me a willpower roll. If you do not wish to resist, then yes, add a penalty.
Nice.
Okay, Charles Jackson has decided that he's had enough. He's cutting it off. However, Kansas has not. Kansas still says that he likes these drinks. So now, Kansas, give me a Constitution roll with 2 penalty dice. Okay. And we'll continue to move forward. No, he's not going to die of alcohol poisoning, but Charles does notice that Kansas is continuing to drink, and he is continuing to get drunker and drunker, and he's just spilling out information and just basically telling this guy everything that he wants to know, and not thinking anything of it. He's
Can I make an intelligence roll? I don't know
sure.
if that would apply here.
What's the
Penalty.
intelligence roll for?
Basically, to get that. Wait a minute. He's super drunk. He's spilling the beans. This guy's pouring it on.
You can give me a psychology roll.
Okay, penalty.
Yes, at a penalty.
All right, I got a 10. Wish me luck. Well, the good news is I know what I'm going to pump next level up.
All right.
Would I, not on a metagame level, but would I want to try to get him to stop drinking? I mean, obviously, I don't see anything going on, but I don't want him to get so drunk he gets sick.
Too late.
Yeah, it's kind of too late at this point. The damage has been done. You notice that he's not passed out yet, but he's going to be getting there soon.
He's gonna be one sorry puppy in the morning.
Yes, Irene, you should have. Now, give me. Let's see. I want to look over a couple options here. We're going to jump from this scene over to Alonzo. It's been a little while since he had his spotlight. We're going to go over to him, going across the room, and talking to Abdul. Okay, Alonzo, you head over to Abdul with your dry martini.
Mr. Abdul, I understand you're the owner of this fine establishment.
Yes.
I wish to pay my respects with a drink.
Oh,
please.
Thank you very much. I do not recognize you. What is your name? Are you a new member?
Name is Brigham Young.
Brigham Young. Well, it is.
I am indeed a new member in town.
It is nice to meet you, Mr. Young.
Honored to meet you.
Are you enjoying the club tonight?
I am having the time of my life, Mr. Abdul. This is perhaps the best club I have ever been in my life.
Yes, well, I'm glad to hear that. We aim to please here. The ladies are fine. The food is fine. There are many things for one to enjoy here.
There are indeed, sir. Your aim is true. I am flabbergasted with joy. The ladies, the music.
Okay,
it's
Irene.
Wonderful.
So we'll get you looking for the spice shop here in a bit. I'm not sure if we'll get to that tonight. We might open up next session with that. And so he says, "So what brought you to the club? What was the attraction?"
Well, sir, as you may have heard in my part of the world, in the States, we're having a little thing called prohibition. A lot of
Oh yes, I've heard about that most unfortunate thing.
blue-nosed Puritans.
But this establishment, not that I am sad that you are a new member, but you have all the other clubs in town. What made you choose this one? You are not Egyptian.
No, sir, I am not. I'm afraid that you've got me there. I am greatly interested in Egyptian culture, however, and I dare say that I do have a certain attraction to the complexion among us, may I say.
Oh, you you find that um, the Middle Eastern women are appealing.
Oh, most appealing, sir. Most appealing. Much more, how shall I say, full of life. Much more than Asians, perhaps, or the uptight white women I tend to meet. I find the Middle Eastern women to be much more honest and full of life.
Well, you have to be careful. We do have our women are very luscious. You know, they're um, our women can seduce a man with her eyes alone.
Oh,
But
my dear sir, that's exactly what I've been hoping for. But I do have some questions, I must admit. Would you answer some questions, perhaps? And then maybe after we have a little chat, you could introduce me to some of your dancers?
yes. What kind of questions do you have?
Now, just pure curiosity, just between the two of us men, but I have heard rumors, some, how should I say, unsavory goings on here at the club. Not that I have a problem with that. I find it quite intriguing. A little danger I find adds spice to my drink. But are these rumors true?
I am sorry, but I am not sure what you are speaking of. This is not a brothel.
Oh, no, 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 no. Did I mean to insult you by suggesting that this was a brothel? No, sir, not at all. No, no, I heard that there were. Oh, heard it was called the Dark King. No, it was the Black Pharaoh, I believe. Do you know anything about that? The Black Pharaoh.
No, no. I, I am not familiar with any of this. What is it that makes you talk about such things?
So you're completely unfamiliar with this symbol, and I draw the symbol of the black tongue on the palm of his hand with my finger.
The tongue or the Black Pharaoh ink symbol? Because
I'm gonna well,
there was a
well. Let's start
bloody
with the
tongue.
black pharaoh. Let's start with the ankh.
Okay, because that was the Black Pharaoh symbol. Then there was the
Right,
bloody tongue symbol as well. Okay,
right.
so you kind of draw out the symbol
Hmm.
and give me a psychology roll.
Excellent. That's what I was working towards. There we go. With a penalty?
Did you fail your drunken test?
My last one I did, yes.
Okay, so then yes, with a penalty.
Oof.
Okay, his eyes kind of dart back and forth a little bit. He seems very nervous, but it doesn't really seem like he. It almost seems like he's nervous because you're you came across kind of sneaky, like you've heard bad things, and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, I my club is a good club. I don't know of any reason that you would hear bad things about my club.
Oh, no, 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 sir, you misunderstand me. I am merely. I am drawn to the dangerous. I enjoy the rumor of. I don't call it bad. I call it, just adds a little spice to the evening. Sometimes a man needs a little adventure in his life, a little
Uh,
danger, perhaps. And no, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing.
Give me Okay, if you're wanting him to steer you in the right direction or something like that, if now you failed your psychology roll, so you don't really know how he's responding to you. But if you're wanting to steer him in a certain direction, if you're wanting to manipulate him or get him to open up to you about something specific, then you would need to make a coercion or an intimidation or a persuasion, something of that sort.
How about a charm?
Sure. If you're wanting to come off as a nice, friendly guy who just wants to join in with everyone else.
Just not having any luck with it.
You can spend luck.
I actually am going to spend some of my luck here. I'm going to spend 9 luck to make it a success.
Okay, you're going to charm him into... And what is it when you're wanting to achieve with your charm exactly?
I'm just trying to get him to buddy up to me, to maybe confide in me a little bit about what's going on.
Are you wanting him to maybe point out someone to you who maybe has more information?
Yeah, let's say that. That sounds like a good deal.
Okay. He's like, I am sorry. I do not know much about these kinds of things. I am simply a club owner and run this establishment. If you have interest in such things, then you need to go speak with him.
And him is
The man sitting over there at that table. He points over to a table where Kansas and Charles are sitting.
Xavier? The British gentleman over there.
Yes, him.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And may I say again, Mr. Abdul, a fine establishment you have here. Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, please, no more talk of this pharaoh.
No. Of course not. Please enjoy your martini, and I will leave you to your work. So I'm going to walk back to the table with Xavier, Landon, and Chuck.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
On your way over to the table, one of the dances has just finished. And one of the dancers, a particularly beautiful lady, let me pull up her picture here. And a nice Middle Eastern beauty, just like what you said that to Abdul, that just was your perfect taste. Let me find her here. Lady is going around, and they've just finished their dance, and they're kind of going around to the tables, just as I described in the early explanation of what transpires while you're in here, where occasionally go around and they take donations from the different patrons and everything. And I'm just reading Irene's comment over here. This lady, she bumps into you. as she's going around looking for donations, she kind of bumps into you and she says, "Donations, sir?" And she kind of brings her face in close to yours. What is your reaction?
Anything you wish, my lady. Please tell me your name. It must be Cleopatra, no?
No, no, sir. My name is Yalisha.
Alicia, you're more beautiful than Cleopatra. I should have known.
I'll put it here. Yalisha Assam.
Alicia.
Have you enjoyed my dancing tonight?
I have not seen such dancing. Well, let's say in forever.
I noticed
Dear.
you. She kind of lowers her voice and she whispers. You can tell that she's trying to be very discreet about it. She's not making it known what she's talking to you about. She, in fact, give me a psychology roll.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not the most perfect example of investigation that I've ever seen.
That's a fail.
Okay, you can spend 8 luck, or you can just leave it as a failure.
I am going to spend the 8 luck to make
Okay.
it a success. I'm getting low on luck here. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't
Didn't
have
mean
to
do that.
roll it again.
Just trying to change the number.
Okay, so you can tell that she's kind of scared a little bit. You can tell that she's trying to keep the conversation to you very discreet. She's trying to make it look like she's talking to you about something else, such as maybe tips or dancing or something of that nature. Yet her words are different than her behavior or the way that she's presenting herself outwardly. Outwardly she looks happy. She looks like she's, gathering tips, and she's, wanting to do the next dance and all that kind of stuff. But inwardly, the tone of her voice, the discreetness of her whispers to you, leads you to believe that there is something more going on here. She deftly whispers into your ear, "Meet me down the street near the arches at midnight."
My dear, nothing would give me greater pleasure. I will be there.
Please, I hope so. It's important.
No doubt.
And then she kind of, she looks like she's wanting to say something else, but she knows that she's kind of pushing her luck talking to you. And she smiles and she says, "Thank you, sir, for your graciousness. Would you like another dance?"
Nothing would give me greater pleasure, Yalisha. Please, dance.
She moves out onto the dance floor as the next number starts up, and her and several other belly dancers, that are kind of dispersed about the room, kind of start gyrating and moving and doing their next belly dance routine. Okay, at this point, you can continue. Let me give you a quick. See if I can find. I know it's in the. I can probably find it faster in the book here, so I don't have to flip back and forth between pages. I just want to give you a factual description of Yalisha and all the other people that you've been interacting with. So. Okay, for Abdul. He is a large Egyptian man. Noisha runs the Blue Pyramid Club. He's rather portly, plodding, with balding hair. Yalisha is a young Egyptian belly dancer. You would guess that she's probably around the age of late teens, early 20s. She is slender with long flowing hair and dark eyes. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little bit of a physical description of her. Hello, can you hear me? Testing. Hello, hello.
I don't know if you can hear me, but we cannot hear you.
There we go.
Can you other guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, you're loud and clear. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing. All right. Can you guys hear me now? Yep, got you
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I've got so many different settings and stuff here that I had to try and figure out which one freaked out on me. Ended up all I had to do was just disconnect from the Discord chat and then reconnect to it. But my USB cable, I kind of bumped into it with my book and it freaked out and didn't like it. Okay, so back to where we were. So Yalisha, she contacts Alonzo here, and she has this little discreet interlude with him, and then we're moving forward to Alonzo heading across the hall, or across the room, and joining Charles, Kansas, and Xavier.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I'm going to have to sign off there.
Okay, well,
For the
this is
evening.
a good place to stop. It is 11:30, so that is our normal stopping time, and it's a good enough cliffhanger here for us to leave on, and we'll pick up there next time. Um, Anyone have anything they want to mention before Alonso heads out?
And we're not meeting next week?
Correct. No session next week. I will be at Gen Con.
Lucky you.
Gaming it up.
You've got 2 weeks to get toned. Well, have fun at Gen Con. Thanks a lot. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, thanks.
Good night, guys.
All right, so everyone have a fun night.
All right, man. I'm still gonna meet you at Gen Con one day.
I
Get
hope
these
so.
little kids a little older. Yeah, I'd love to come out. All right, have a good night, guys.
Take care. I will go